Danny Bonsignor, and I am so thankful you are here today. I pray that I can help encourage you to feel, to love, to heal, and to help encourage you to view all of your experiences, your conversations, and interactions all through a lens of love. Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the Healing Mama podcast. I'm your host, Danny Bonsignor, and I am so grateful you are tuning in today. I do have a favor to ask of you. If you have enjoyed any episode of this podcast or it has helped you in any way, please help me by sharing this podcast with at least one person. That would help so much, and I would really appreciate it. Today's episode is going to be the first of a 2-episode series. I want to talk about discouragement today, so make sure you come back in 2 weeks to listen to part 2, where we will discuss encouragement and how this looks. Understanding discouragement is important because in order to properly respond to and discipline your child, you need to be able to understand why the misbehavior is happening in the first place. A misbehaving child is a discouraged child. Think about when you are misbehaving. This can look like yelling, giving the silent treatment, or being in a generally negative mood. It is usually due to some kind of discouragement. There is a reason for it. When you start to view the misbehavior through a different lens, then it will be easier to respond more from a place of curiosity and compassion. You will feel differently about your child's behavior when you see them as the young person who just wants to belong, who is confused and lacks the skills they need to accomplish whatever goal they are needing to accomplish in a socially useful way. It is understandable that it can be hard for most adults to get past their child's behavior when they are acting obnoxiously, especially if this behavior is in front of others. You will have to retrain your brain to see this misbehavior as a cry for belonging instead of a distraction or a disturbance to those around you, or even to yourself if there is no one around you. Instead of thinking, how can I stop this behavior? Learn to think, how can I help my child feel like they belong? Learning and understanding this way of thinking is the first step to be able to help your child when they are misbehaving. At first, it might be hard to look at your child when they are refusing to cooperate, when their arms are folded and they are flat out refusing to do what you have asked. I can understand it may be hard to see these actions as a sign of discouragement, but it is, and they are. Your child is discouraged and they are showcasing a negative use of power. This is how children may behave when they feel like they have no other way to do what they are wanting and no way of knowing what they are needing. They are lacking a sense of belonging or significance in the family. Children have such little power when it comes to how their day looks and what decisions are being made, and to them their life consists of constantly being told no, or what to do every step of the day. They have no positive sense of belonging or significance, and refusing to pick up their toys or take a bath is their way of exerting what little power they feel they have. It is our job as parents to teach our children how to use their power in an effective manner so they don't use it carelessly or in increasingly unhealthy ways. You can learn more about the power of giving your child choice in episode 12, but giving them a choice as much as possible, as well as allowing them to do as many things as they can for themselves, no matter if it is easier for you to just do it for them. Behavior is your child's way of speaking to you in code, so to speak. They are literally acting out their discouragement. Instead of brushing off them saying the word no when they are younger or reacting more to this when they are older, see this as their way of trying to exert power because they feel like you are always telling them what to do and when to do it. Pay attention to how many commands you are giving them in a day, or even start with just an hour. This might surprise you, and it's not to feel guilty, it's to bring awareness. Their refusal to cooperate is their way of communicating, "I don't feel like I belong right now." I know a lot of parents feel like they are supposed to be telling their children what to do and when to do it because they are children and it is your job to teach and show them what to do. You are supposed to discipline your child, but, and this is a very important but, because how you choose to discipline and how you choose to teach them can help them feel significant and a sense of belonging, or it can feed into their discouragement and subsequently their misbehavior. There are so many ways that you can teach and train that provide encouragement and invite them to work with you instead of against you. I love this quote from Positive Discipline in the Christian Home. Like thirsty plants, children need encouragement. Receiving it prevents the drought of discouragement and the misbehavior that often follows. You might be thinking, of course my child belongs and we think they are significant. But the truth of the situation is usually less important than your child's perception about the situation. Remember, children are born egotistical, which means they feel like they are to blame for everything that happens around them, even when it has nothing to do with them. Behavior is depicted by what your child believes about their place in the world. This changes from moment to moment. Our actions are motivated by our core beliefs that we form from our inner thoughts. Our perceptions and feelings in addition to the actions and words from important people in our lives. This is why the words we choose to speak to and around our children from the moment they are born matter. Our subconscious is being developed up until around age 7. You and those who spend time around your child are helping to develop their innermost beliefs, whether you realize this or not. Your misbehaving child is not aware of their innate desire to belong or their mistaken beliefs in how to achieve this. Even more, they don't need to be aware of this because as their parent, it is your job to recognize that behind every behavior is a belief. That your feelings as the parent in response to your child's behavior are the clues you need to be able to understand what belief is behind their behavior. You will be more effective in changing their behavior when you are able to think about what beliefs they might be holding. In Positive Discipline, we like to call this misguided behavior because though their behavior is more than likely inappropriate, the belief behind the behavior is a feeling of insignificance or lack of belonging, and we will talk more about this in a future episode. When you are better able to understand the connection between thoughts, feelings, and behavior, you will be able to focus more on true discipline, which involves teaching and encouragement. It is possible to discipline without punishment or rewards, which are both outdated and rarely change behavior in the long run. Punishment can look like lectures, humiliation, yelling, or hitting. If you love to read, then you can read supporting information for this in Parents Who Love Too Much by Jane Nelson and Cheryl Irwin. With misbehavior comes a code, so together we can learn how to look beyond the behavior so that you can better see the belief and therefore choose tools that help to teach and instruct your child. It might come as a surprise to know that love alone does not always create the sense of belonging and worth you want your child to feel and that your child needs to feel. I remember thinking when I had my daughter that all she needed was unconditional love. And our children do need love, but love alone does not give your child a sense of belonging or worth they are truly needing. Too much of the wrong kind of love can cause you to pamper, to punish, or make short-term decisions that are not in your child's best interest long-term. We all need to belong somewhere. We need to feel loved and accepted unconditionally. when you use harsh punishments that can make your child feel isolated, ashamed, or these punishments involve inflicting pain, you are teaching them that your love comes with limits, that your love is conditional based on their behavior or the abilities they may or may not have. The need to belong is even more crucial in very young children. They need to know that you love them no matter their tantrums, no matter their spills, no matter how many things they may break or ruin. When you shame, punish, or both for developmentally normal mishappenings, you are telling your child they don't belong. This is very discouraging for a young child, and what happens when children are discouraged? They misbehave. It is important that young children who are just learning about their world and their place in this big world feel encouraged, that they feel valued, and that their growth is noticed. Don't let yourself get caught up in focusing on the negative. It is easy to do when discussing the negative has become the norm. When complaining about our spouses, our jobs, our children, and even ourselves has become the usual topic of discussion. Let's normalize talking positive about ourselves and our children, especially when they are within hearing distance of the conversation. How motivated would you feel if you overheard your spouse or your boss pointing out your errors and shortcomings with others? So many talk about their young child using the word no all of the time. And it's nice to hold yourself accountable and notice how often you were telling them no. How often you just do something instead of giving them the chance. How do we expect our children to learn and do better if you were never giving them the opportunity to first be bad at something without ridiculing them? It makes so much sense when your toddler often misbehaves. They spend an entire day being discouraged, rushed, and told what not to do. The same can be true for your older child. As our children get older, it can be understandable that you have these expectations of what they should be able to understand and know, but are these expectations developmentally appropriate? And is the foundation you have laid for them one built on discouragement or one of encouragement? As a mom who has another one on the way, I have had to refresh my mind of anything and everything to do with adding new members to the family, siblings, and ensuring my expectations for my daughter do not exceed what she can achieve at her age developmentally. It is not uncommon to hear of a family having another child, and the child that was previously the youngest starting to misbehave or regress after the birth of the new baby. These are all signals that the child is feeling insignificant and like they no longer belong. You know that they are significant and you know that they belong, but they no longer do. They will need your attention, your connection, your time, and teaching with the new member of the family. What are the traits and thoughts you want for your child? For most parents, they want their child to decide, I am capable, I can try, make mistakes, and learn. I am loved. I am a good person. These thoughts are formed and decided by the ways you choose to discipline. If you are using guilt, shame, or punishment, you are not teaching your child to think, I am capable. It is safe for me to make mistakes and learn. I am loved. These discipline methods are discouraging and instill discouraging beliefs in your child that will be difficult for them to reverse in adulthood. The next time your child misbehaves, ask yourself, is this behavior the result of discouragement, and how can I help my child feel like they belong? I do want to share some common discouraging statements parents often use and what you could say instead to help your child feel significance and belonging. These are all from the Positive Discipline Parenting Toolbook. For ages 2 to 5, instead of, if you don't want your toys thrown away, you'd better pick them up right now, you could get down to their level and say what you want and mean it. Sweetie, it's time to put the blocks away now. Instead of, no, you can't pour the milk into your glass, you might hurt yourself or make a big mess. Try showing faith and provide a safe environment for them to try and make mistakes. I know you can do it. This pitcher of milk is just your size. For ages 6 to 12, instead of, if you don't want your things thrown away, you'd better pick them up right now. Try giving your child the power and asking, do you want to set the timer for how much time you think it will take to get it done? Instead of, why do you expect me to do everything for you when you don't do anything for me? Try connecting and redirecting first by saying, it is more fun if we work together. What would you like me to do to help, and what will you do? Remember, by working with your child and not against them, not only will they be more willing to cooperate, but you are teaching them a valuable life lesson in how to work together with others. Being able to choose responsible and appropriate behavior both for you and for your child is going to take patience, prayer, and the willingness to try new ideas. But know that it is possible and it is worth the journey of getting there. Next episode, we'll talk all about how to encourage and empower your child, and it's going to be so good. Once more, if you have enjoyed any episode of this podcast, please share with a friend. I do want to announce that I will be changing my release date for new episodes from Mondays to Tuesdays. New episodes will still be released bi-weekly, but because of life, I am needing to switch the day. Thank you for tuning in today, and I hope you have a beautiful couple of weeks and that the message from this episode just resides in the back of your brain and comes up every single time you are faced with an opportunity to grow. In closing today, I want to encourage you to spend the next week sharing positives in your parenting journey. When you meet up with friends or you discuss your children, try focusing on sharing and repeating the good stuff. Not to say there isn't and won't be hard things, but let's shine light on the good this week. You never know, someone may overhear you speaking praise over your children and just motherhood in general, and it might encourage them to do the same. Until next time.